What's up with 22?
My grandma, her favorite number was 2 growing up. And, she told me she wanted me to represent that number. And so I knew the last receiver that was drafted was 2002. So I felt like it kind of made sense to me.
Did you think you were 81 there for a second on
Yeah,
draft night?
I did.
How'd that change?
I talked to the guy that gave me the numbers, and I asked him if I could get 22. He said it was up for grabs, so I took it.
Matthew, what's the process been like since you've been drafted? What's, I guess, the last few days or so been like for you?
Man, it's been cool. A great experience. Definitely, finally, glad to be back in football. Just running around and being around guys on the team. I'm excited to play football again, man.
Matthew, you've mentioned your grandma a couple of times. What does she mean to you? What does she mean to you growing up and all that?
Yeah, definitely my best friend, man. She helped me get to this point. I feel like me being here, I can give her all the thanks for, helping me get here. So, the rest is on me to, come out here and have fun and compete. Allow myself to put my best foot forward each and every day.
What's her name?
Penny. Yeah, Penny.
Matthew, what was it like spending the weekend with her, your family, just any aftermath of being the first-round pick?
Man, it was a great experience. You only get one experience doing this, so I had to come to the draft. I actually made it my decision last minute, so to be here, for the atmosphere to be crazy and just for me to walk the stage, man, it was a cool experience for me.
In that video you put out, you take a picture with Barron after you
Yeah.
got picked. Did you ever think that you guys would be teammates again?
It's crazy because the night before the draft, I went to Barron's room and we was talking. And, we was looking outside the city from where his room was, and we was just talking about football. And for us to get drafted on the same team, man, it is crazy. I ain't gonna lie, it's crazy. We still talk about it till today.
How close were you guys back in school?
Yeah, me and Barron was tight. That was the first guy I connected with when I got to Texas. So to be on the same team with him, man, it's truly cool.
So, Matthew, you know that the last time this team used a first-round pick on a receiver was on Javon Walker.
Yeah.
That was before you were born. Do you understand how unique that is?
Yeah, it's definitely unique. I feel like that's what made that pick even more important to me. Just understanding the history behind it. So, definitely thankful to be in this position. And, I'm looking forward to what's in front of me.
Your receivers coach was part of that team, Chris Jackson.
Yeah.
You guys talked at all?
Oh, yeah.
Did he talk about this place at all?
Yeah, he did. He told me it was a great environment for me to be in. He just told me, what got me here, I need to keep that with me. So just be myself, go to work every day. It's a job. And, they want you to put your best foot forward, and that's what I'm here to do.
Who was it that told you that it was since 2002? How did you find that out? You after the first-round receiver.
I want to say my uncle told me. Yeah, my uncle told me.
So you knew going into draft?
Yeah, going into draft, yeah, I knew it.
What's your last week been like? I mean, did you fly back to Texas?
Yeah.
What's the logistics been like? Did you stay here?
Yeah, so I went back home, and then I flew in, I'm lost on count on the days, man. Friday. So I got in Saturday. No, got in Saturday. Yeah, I got in Saturday. So been here for 2 days. Excited to be here. Get the offense down, and like I said, just get back to playing football.
So you found out that they hadn't drafted a receiver in the first round before you got picked, right?
Yeah, before.
So you visited here, right? And did you think to yourself, well, hell, they're not going to pick me?
Yeah, man, I actually didn't know, and man, for it to happen, like I said, it's crazy. But it happened for a reason. I'm excited to be here, like I said, and man, I'm ready to compete.
How long did it take for your new quarterback to reach out to you?
He texted me literally right after I got drafted. Told me it's time to go to work. Congratulated me and just told me, well, it's time to work. Come here and work.
What did you have to say to him?
Oh, I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready. I've been waiting for this moment my whole life, and to be here, like I said, I'm gonna be present, but I'm gonna let my presence be known. I'm gonna come in here and compete.
Have you had the chance to see the video where LaFleur said he FaceTimed Jordan Love and he said he's got to warm his arm up?
Yeah, I seen. I seen.
What was the feelings when you saw that and just kind of getting ready to start working with him?
I really don't pay attention to social media like that. But I know I control what I can. So, like I said, man, I'm gonna come out here and do what I'm supposed to do. I'm gonna do it to my best of my ability. So, I'm definitely gonna try to run 4.29 on the field, so Jordan can put the ball out there somewhere for me.
You're not coming in under the radar. Obviously, all this attention. How much pressure is that put on you?
Yeah. I don't pay no attention to it. Like I said, I got myself here, being myself. So that's that's all I'm going to do. And, I'm going to come in here and compete and work just like I did my whole life. So it's nothing new to me. Like I said, man, I'm just happy to be here.
Did you get to know Savion pretty well during the pre-draft?
Yeah, I did. So I was originally committed to TCU before I committed to Houston. And he actually hosted me on my visit. So me and Savion go way back.
What's that conversation been like between you two this week?
Man, it's cool, trying to get the offense down together, and just going through walkthroughs and stuff like that. It just feel like a full circle. And, to have somebody that I know, we're going to push each other each and every day. So holding him accountable, he holding me accountable.
Do you have a feel for how your games might complement each other within the same offense?
Yeah, definitely versatility. He could play inside and out, and that's something I could do too. So, it's going to be fun seeing what we do in the offense.
Hey, Matthew, have you been able to connect with any of the other wide receivers?
Yeah. Jay Reed hit me once I got drafted. Watson hit. I seen Watson when I came up here. So, I've been around him, and like I said, man, I'm ready to be in that room. I'm ready to compete with those guys and, go out there and have fun.
What have those conversations kind of been like with
them? They all told me, it's time to go to work. They gave me some great advice. I talked to Michael Hardman yesterday. He just giving me advice. He been in the league for a while, so, for a rookie coming in, he just gave me some stuff that could help me, down the road. So, I really appreciate it.
Matthew, you had some of your best college games at the end and in the playoffs when it really mattered. What's it take to perform your best when it's all on the line?
Yeah, just knowing the situation, just knowing that when the lights come on, that's when I'm at my best. And so just being in the environment, just knowing that you got to come out there and you got to compete. And like I said, man, I'm coming here to win games and do whatever the team needs me to do.
How much do you look forward to that first step of actually getting on the field tomorrow?
Yeah.
You guys got a chance to look all year, obviously, as a jersey on, but actually getting out on the field and getting to run around a little bit.
Man, that's all I've been waiting on. I'm glad the process of the combine and, all those visits is over with. So, now I'm just back to playing football and just coming out here enjoying it, learning as much as I can, soaking it in, and then going out there playing fast.
Matthew, you put in the work every day, but to go from junior high, financially struggling, high school, to Houston, Texas, first round in the NFL, that can be a little bit of a blur. I mean, I know you got that dream, but talk about what you're adjusting to this.
I'm adjusting great to it. What it took to get here, it wasn't easy, but, I always stay grounded, stay committed to the process, and, whatever opportunity that came to me, I made the most of it. So, just knowing that that's what it took to get here, and that's what's going to keep me here. So, just making the most of my opportunities and going out there and playing fast for the team.
Hey, Matthew, Brian Gutekunst said one of the things he really liked about you was that you've been through adversity and come out on the other side. What are some of the things that you've dealt with adversity-wise that have shaped you to be who you are now?
As far as football or anything in general?
I think he was talking about both.
Me and my mom, at times we stayed in hotels, and it was times we couldn't pay for a room, so we stayed in front of Walmart in Brenham, Texas. And, so I reflect back to that, whenever I am playing football, it just keep me motivated to keep going. In 2023, I had a season in the injury, my left toe. And, that was the first time football got taken away from me. So, for me, it was just frustrating. I didn't really understand why it happened to me. And, at that time, my relationship with God grew a lot stronger. So, I started to understand everything happened for a reason. And, I just took it from there.
When you went through those tough times, how much did football become something of a safe haven for you to kind of just leave everything outside the field and put it there?
Just definitely like a safe environment for me. Just whenever I'm on the field, that's when I feel great. I feel like, nothing is stopping me from where I'm going, and, I could just focus on football. So it's definitely something that, that's keeping me motivated and just keeping me grounded.
It's been a crazy week, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Have you been able to put in an offer on your grandmother's house yet?
It's in the works. Yeah, it's definitely in the works. So, I'm definitely going to get that done for her.
How much?
Is living there now?
No, nobody's living there. Yeah. It's basically abandoned right now. It's been there. It's been sitting there for some years, and they got a sign up there. But that's something that I want to do for my grandma.
How much does that history hit you in the moment when you get drafted on Thursday, when you walk into this place yesterday, maybe when you hit the practice field later today?
Yeah. Say that again.
Yeah, how much is all your life history going to hit you, or has hit you and going to hit you coming up?
I just reflect back to those times. Like I said, everything that happened to me, everything that I went through, it happened for a reason. You know, that's what got me here. And to be in this position, you know, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy getting here. And I know what I did. You know, the people that I had around me, they helped me get to this point. And, you know, now I'm here. So, you know, I'm just focusing on ball now.
Did you even ask Malik Willis for number 2, or did you not bother?
You know, I didn't bother. You know, for me, it's just a jersey number, you know. And I could wear 85 if I wanted to. You know, I'm still going to go out there and get open. So, for me, it was just meaning behind the number 22 for me. And, like I said, man, it got history behind it, so it just made sense for me.
Where's your confidence? Where does your confidence come from?
Now, that's something that's been with me when I was a younger kid. You know, just always having that confidence in yourself. You know, I feel like confidence, you know, it makes a person, and it helps a person on and off the field. You know, I feel like that's what you got to have to be successful. So it started, like I said, when I was younger, and, you know, it kind of just stuck with me.
Do you need a new necklace now?
I definitely do. I need to add a number 2.
Exactly.